The vision around Xbox has really transformed over the years of people playing on multiple devices, people playing anywhere.
We know what players want. They want to game on their own terms.
This was a #1 request from our fans. We're working in close partnership with ASUS on a brand new handheld
called the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X.
The best game library on the go, basically changes everything.
And so, Microsoft is releasing their new handheld, which they still haven't got a definitive price for outside of the leaked prices. But it's clear that Microsoft is looking to evolve past the console. They want you to be able to play your games everywhere and anywhere, and whether this was instigated by the decisions and by the court trials of the ABK, it's unknown. But in my opinion, everything that happened there kind of pushed them in this one direction. However, there is a trailer from 2016 that I actually watched yesterday that basically tells you that this was the plan all along. This isn't something that just happened out of the blue. ABK just made this happen a lot faster. This was the vision from 2016, 9 years ago. They introduced Play Anywhere 9 years ago, where you could play your games on console, on PC, interchangeably, seamlessly, play up wherever you wanted. But they just didn't have the capability to push it even further. But after buying Bethesda, or ZeniMax as they are, parent company known, and then buying Activision Blizzard King, that basically springboarded everything to the way it is now. This is the new Xbox, and anyone expecting something different or hoping something different or relishing the idea that maybe they are going to go back to the way of old, should forget that entirely. I've got nothing against this new vision of Microsoft. I actually think that this new vision is great. The only thing that I'm disappointed in is the fact that competition is really no longer going to be a thing. And competition in general is what spurs greatness. When you're competing against someone, trying to get someone's money, you have to be better than they are. And that kind of pendulum that you step on one step above your competitor every single time to deliver something better is what brings great content for us. But hopefully time will tell that this might not be the case anymore, and we will actually continue to get really, really good games. And I'm saying this while it's showing Roblox, which is ironic in the best cases. But Xbox has changed, and this new handheld device isn't going to play your native games. But as Sarah Bond says in this video, if you want to play your games, your Xbox games on this device, if it's a Play Anywhere device, you can jump from the console version straight to the PC version with your save file intact and continue playing. As an end user, there is no different. However, for those games that indicate that there is no Xbox native console version available on PC, or where that title isn't Play Anywhere, you will have xCloud to be able to play them, or you can stream directly from your console. This to me indicates that the notion of a truly native Xbox handheld is dead. The fact that they are now pushing this as the way forward for Xbox means that that notion of a true Xbox handheld is a thing of the past, and Microsoft now, especially with everything we've heard about their next console hybrid that's coming, is engineering to push everyone to a PC-like platform, because that way all the operating heads reduce, everything gets reduced in price, everything gets reduced in cost, and games hopefully can come out faster as they're no longer dependent on releasing on an additional 2 devices. So what is the future that Microsoft is holding on to? The future that Microsoft hopes that you will join them in is a future where their games are going to be everywhere. They're pushing the boundaries of capable hardware with their next iteration because they want it to last rather than having to release so soon. Whether that's going to be a modular or upgradable device is yet unknown. Asus is releasing their version of the console pretty much next year, at least that's what's rumored to be happening. But all of these games that are exclusive to PlayStation, or day one on PlayStation and a year later on Xbox, that dissolves the moment this console releases. And as it stands right now, if you've got a Series X, and you've got one of these devices, and this is essentially just a PC, right? I know it's got the Xbox logo on there, and it's got the grips, which make it really good, and it's a very, very capable and powerful device. Even if the benchmarks right now aren't showing it, the drivers just haven't matured. So once they've actually matured, and you start to get proper drivers out for these, you'll be getting an even better performance. But you'll be getting Xbox games now tailored with this in mind. And this, in theory, at least it's got more RAM and more everything else. So, not that that was a problem with Wukong or anything, but there's really no real problem here now in terms of game development. No one should be crying that, oh, it's the Series S. And what Microsoft is doing here is saying, we want you to be able to game wherever you are. And if you want to game on PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch, that's fine. But if you're an Xbox customer, we got you. We're having our own tailor-made handheld, even if it is just a PC with its tailor-made Windows, which will be available everywhere else eventually. But we're also providing you with a home console that brings everything into one. Of course, there's going to be people turning around and saying, well, what about how much money is Microsoft going to make? I don't care. They're a $3 trillion company. I let them worry about the financials. I just worry about the games. Are the games coming? And it's really cool to see that Microsoft now is no longer, you can see that they're no longer bound by the confines of just a platform. The ecosystem has really taken over. And something that started in 2016, which was their original Xbox Play Anywhere, plan. And this is from 2016. This is during the debacle of the crap gamer saga, where Phil Spencer said just because more people are playing, you're going to cancel your pre-order, when he canceled his pre-order for Quantum Break. This has essentially been the plan for Microsoft, no matter where. And this is an advert from 2016, by the way. You can see them playing Xbox on a PC, playing it on the console, playing it pretty much everywhere. This is crazy. And, they had this vision from all the way back then. This was the plan. So for people saying that, Microsoft threw in the towel, no. Microsoft didn't throw in the towel. This is what Microsoft wanted. No one really saw it. No one really noticed it. And it was a gradual thing. But when ABK hit, it hit like a truck. It hit like a bulldozer. And that fast-tracked everything. Yes, exclusivity was a thing. And they valued it because they just couldn't move this Play Anywhere fast enough. But with ABK and the might of the big giant games like Call of Duty and King coming into play and Blizzard coming into the fold, it was obvious that this was going to be the catalyst to propel them to the place they want to be at. And so here we are, from 2016 to 2025, 9 years later, almost a decade in the making, Microsoft has finally landed exactly where they want to be. And this is why next year, I believe that the decade is going to mark the true, everything right now, including this handheld device, is basically just like a soft launch. The real launch is going to happen next year, with the release of the next generation Xbox console as the catalyst for everything, bringing all of the stores into one, bringing everything. And as you can see, this person here, they were playing on the console, then their kid came home and they switched to Netflix, and then they went to their PC. That is the beauty of being able to just stop and start wherever you want. And so it's going to be really interesting to see just how different gaming is going to be in, say, 5 years' time. But I feel like Microsoft set out 9 years ago to change the industry. And as we've seen with Sony also accepting that third party is the way, having more people play your games, which means more people buying your games, is the way. Things are changing, and Microsoft, despite everyone saying that they are not going to change the future, they are not going to change the way gamers play, they are not going to change anything, Phil Spencer has done it. And as this PlayStation fan says, named the Puff, in the end, it's the Xbox fans who have won. they're getting a fantastic next-gen console with Steam support and all the benefits that come with it, which include cheaper games. You can get dirt cheap games on Steam. Their sales are bar none the best. A great subscription service like Game Pass, best in the world, and the ability to carry their entire console library over to Xbox PC. Now that's not entirely true, but you get what he's trying to say, at least when it comes to first party games. And what he's referring to there is essentially play anywhere. And then there's us, the PlayStation players. We're stuck in a crappy ecosystem. We can't transfer our library to PC because there's no cross entitlement. We're left with a worse subscription service. Premium doesn't really give you anything. Weaker console functionality and more expensive games. In short, Sony has completely screwed us. But this is where Microsoft wanted to be. And this is where Microsoft has landed. Everyone looked at Phil Spencer and said he was crazy. He is killing Xbox. He is destroying Xbox. He is, turning Xbox into something that the players didn't want. And for the longest time, everyone was kind of on that bandwagon because everyone believed that the way Xbox was going and exclusivity was the way forward. But that's not the case, and that's not how things have evolved. And as we can see now, at least I can say from a parent myself, Xbox Play Anywhere, being able to play on my Xbox, then get off there and jump onto my PC and continue playing where I left off, because my kids either want to use the TV or the console or whatever it is. It's allowed me to game more or just do more things. And cloud gaming is just another tool for this, where I can just jump on my Steam Deck, using xCloud or GeForce Now, jump right in. If you're a GeForce Now subscriber, which is an additional cost, fair, but you can play those Xbox games that are on there via your Game Pass subscription as of next month with a 5080 capable graphics card on your small screen. You can then hook that up to your TV if you don't have a PC and have that on your sitting room TV with a 5080 4K display. It's crazy what Microsoft has turned this ecosystem into. And all of this is coming from the mastermind of Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond was a catalyst for this. Sarah Bond is basically what made all this, in my opinion, possible. Her expertise in the area of non-exclusivity and being able to push things to a wider audience was a massive boon on Microsoft's pivot to where this is going. They already started that journey, but they just needed that extra bit of help. And Sarah Bond came in and provided that missing essence that was needed. So all in all, for everyone that's saying that Xbox is dead, Xbox is no more, I think that's completely and utterly delusional. I think, yes, if you're referring to the old way of working, where it was just a box, walled garden and everything, that died in 2016, as we clearly saw with that Play Anywhere. The moment that advert came out in 2016, that walled garden began to dissipate already, and Xbox Play Anywhere is where Microsoft wanted to be. They wanted you to play your games wherever you were. Sure, did they maybe envision you playing it on PlayStation and Switch at the time? Probably not, but that evolved over time as games got more expensive and shareholders wanted more money. I'm not saying releasing it on PlayStation or Switch was the original idea. What I'm saying is the idea for them to go in this direction, in this massive ecosystem, in this massive kind of pool where you can play your game on the device of your choosing, this started in 2016. And in 2025, they have finally attained the position they want to be in. And in 2026, they will come full circle. Earlier today, I actually saw a picture of the 2021 dev kits for Xbox. And that, my friends, is Xbox coming full circle. They started off as a PC and they're ending as a PC. And do you know what? I don't care. As long as it's affordable, I can play the games that I have and they work. And these machines, the next generation machine, will play your Series X games that are currently playable on your Series X and S. They will also play the 360 games that are playable on your Series X and S, and the OG Xbox games that are playable on your Series X and S. So the next generation machine will do what your Series X console can do, and then provide you with even more. To me, that is a win-win situation. You will never be in a position where there is a game that you can't play at all, except for Astro Bot and Demon Souls, I guess, because they're never getting ported. But hey, how long before PlayStation goes day and date with PC? Lost Soul aside, played best. Really, Lost Soul aside is releasing day and date with PC and PlayStation. It is best played on PC, and with the next generation Xbox being as powerful as it is going to be, in terms of the console platforms, the best place to play PlayStation games. Now, how the hell did we get around to that? PlayStation games being best played on a console platform, which is what the next generation Xbox will be, best played on an Xbox platform, because it's going to run those games without any trouble. And considering how powerful that next generation Xbox is said to be, this is it's pretty funny, right? Anyway, folks, that's the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Xbox isn't going anywhere. Xbox has evolved. But in my opinion, the evolution of Xbox right now started in 2016. And though no one really cared about it in 2016, now seeing the fruits of their labor 9 years later, I think it was worth it. And I think as gamers, we are better for it, except for the competition. I think competition is important. So hopefully they can find a way to balance that. But you know what? I'm here for it. Roll on 2026 when the next Xbox lands. And yeah, look at those glorious controllers.